I've tried more than a few times to record this video. It's very hard to do, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go from the heart. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna bumble and stumble through it at times, so bear with me. But we've got to talk about this news, and I've got a lot of freaking things to say about it. So, Northern Card Gaming put out there that Konami has suspended the release of all new Yu-Gi-Oh! Releases and reprints for the time being. Any updates will be put here. Now, this is an EU source, and multiple other EU sources have stepped forward with this information, so it's highly likely that we will see. By the way, they do order large amounts from their distros. You can see here, this is dual overload. So first off, dual overload is still getting into everybody's hands. I've had a ton of people tap me on the shoulder and be like, hey, is Tier 0 still shipping that out? Yes, they are. As of right now, there's no restrictions on being able to ship an international business. That hasn't been shut down. But with this is Secret Slayers, and moving forward, from what I understand, multiple stores have come forward with this information from the EU, and it is so unlikely that the USA does not follow suit, as they did with suspension of OTSs and regionals and higher tier events. I definitely think this is going to be something that moves forward to the USA as well. I don't think we're going to go divergent metas. I don't think we're going to have this back to the era of jump promos. They were profitable, by the way. Very, very profitable were jump promos. So for that to have ended, that was Konami just not taking money to do so that we could combine formats a little bit. That being said, I want to throw down right here, support your freaking locals if you can. This is kind of a nail in the coffin for now for a lot of locals, because people were still going to go to locals and pick up product and make sure that they were good. And I know a lot of them are not online. These shops are not shops that are going to pop back up when Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops back up and go, hey, we're back too. They're paying rent. They have their setups. They have, $20,000 in gear from, say, the display cases that the cards are in and that kind of stuff. And a lot of them are card rich and cash poor. Even if cards are doing okay during this time, they still need a cash flow. And I know a ton of you guys probably also are having your jobs maybe suspended or rerouted. My own wife, her job is getting worked through to home, and that's something I didn't foresee. Like, I thought that workplace would stay open. So a lot of places are moving to either just suspend, you guys aren't needed. Like, I know servers and the entertainment industry, they are freaking suffering right now. So I know a lot of you guys aren't going to have the ability. But if you have the ability to support your locals over somebody's TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra and supporting the channel directly, seriously, I may say that, but look to your locals. Make sure, maybe spend a little bit extra. Make sure they're freaking okay if you can. That being said, this is pretty crazy, because this puts us in the situation, unlike event cancellations, of the show is not playing on. The show is not moving forward. We're stopping. And with that, a lot of people are going to panic sell their cards. There's going to be this point of, I can't use my card, and now there's not new cards coming. I got to get rid of this. This is not Konami versus Upper Deck. We know that at some point it will continue, and the moment it does, there's the hype of Master Rule 5 that is going to return. The competitive season is going to return. You're going to have people, eventually events will go on. The world will move on. We'll take extra precautions. We'll use hand sanitizer everywhere. They're going to set up sanitation stations, probably be checking people's temperatures like they were in Brazil. Eventually, events will move forward. And that's going to continue with everybody developing up towards this highly anticipated metagame. I think Konami's going to hold the ban list back too, personally, with this news, unless they're going to put one out that, addresses pretty much Master Rule 5, because with product being suspended as well, the ban list is going to kind of be the canon, I would think, that says, all right, we're back, we're headed forward, here's how Yu-Gi-Oh's played. The ban list definitely gets everything moving. Now, for myself personally, I know my channel is going to have some trouble during this time. I revolve around the metagame and prices. A lot of people aren't going to want to look at prices as they continue to go down. That's kind of like the stock market effect. Oh yeah, I'm gonna sell out and get back later. Or dang, it's really this bad now. Dual Overload is still releasing into this time, and that's very freaking interesting, because since it's going to be in everybody's hands, this is the last set we have to chew on for a while, and even though there's high quantities of it now, I think you will continue to see it bottom out. There's going to be kind of people reserving their money The moment the canon goes for the meta to come back, I think you're going to see spikes in some of those cards like never before. I think unlike Dual Power, Dual Overload is going to have some serious freaking like shoving into the meta with a lot of those cards and overestimation of rogue decks and that kind of thing. I think a lot of the meta cards were overinflated at this point because of Master Rule 4. So 5 being announced coming out of 4. I think you're going to see kind of that deflation be almost natural because we were experiencing the hype and anticipation of an FNL list, the hype and anticipation of the Master Rule, the competitive season coming out, and the market boiled over past anything we've ever seen. So I do think there's partly a correction, but I think the market in many places is going to dip under that correction in the metagame. I also think that the collector's market during this time is going to skyrocket. People that still want to invest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or have Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in trades are going to be looking at things that they think are very stable. I showed on a previous Market Watch, X-Sabers were way past what I thought. Past formats also become very popular when a card game dies. Like, I was looking around for other things. Goyo Guardian, for example, Ultimate Rare. First edition was towards 30. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh's not gonna die. Yu-Gi-Oh's definitely on pause though, so it feels dead to a lot of people, and the collector's market feels very, very safe comparatively to everything else. I don't think any big boys with huge expanses of like collection cards are going to panic and let those go. They're gonna sit on those and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm pretty good for now, while watching all the meta cards, start to fall down and shave off in price. It's one thing to say there's no events, what are my cards worth? It's another thing to know that, wow, product's not coming now. Back to the point, you don't know when the event cannon's gonna go off, and those cards can spike very, very well. I think to those that are able to hold on during this time, you may still have the WCQ taking place, with maybe even Toon Chaos now pushed back in product releases, or other sets pushed back depending on the release dates and times. This is speculation when it comes to this. We don't know how long things are suspended for. We don't know when things will return. But I really think that when we look at those kinds of things, you're playing a different kind of ball game if you're looking towards, all right, this is going to continue here, and wow, that product's all the way over there. Stuff like Extravagance could be spiking real hard during this time. And vendors aren't going to stop the buyout game because of this. You're going to continue to see rolling buyouts. The question is, how will the sales rates do from those afterwards? Like, we already talked about that subject, that these sales rates will be terrible, or this was a really smart move with this buyout. Sales rates are going to be very, very integral to like how things move forward. And I think they'll kind of dwindle on certain things. On, like stuff like Artifact Ignition. Well, that's kind of a niche, more call of the metagame, and now you're not going to be able to see it develop. I think something like Artifact Ignition, it'll slowly fall out since it's the second round of buyouts, but I don't think it's necessarily going to hold up there. Whenever I look at Yu-Gi-Oh, this is a game I played for 20 years. That's why I'm able to talk so passionately about it, and it's had its moments, it's had its hiccups, it's had its, dead formats, it's had its time with Konami versus Upper Deck. This is unprecedented. This is new territory for all of us. And I think that I don't know where we're headed. That's the truth. Maybe I'm supposed to be that solid rock for you to tell you, yeah, go ahead, hold on to your cards, sell them. I want you to do what's ever best in your mind for you. If anybody's on the Patreon for roles in the Discord, if you want to go ahead and suspend your payments until you're good, I'm not going to take away anybody's roles in the Discord or anything like that. Go ahead and suspend that. I still want to be at 25 states by the end of the month for my mailing tier, but I completely understand if you've got to cut things right now and take care of yourself first. Make sure you're good before I'm good. Make sure you're good and your own are good before anybody. But again, I want to wrap this around full circle. Support your locals if you can. Support those that you care about if you can, because not everybody's going to be really good through these times. It's this place where it's just unsurety. That's probably not a word. Uncertainty. And I think moving forward, the game's going to continue at some point. the game's definitely going to have everything back into motion within, I would hope, 3 months. But it's not just this industry, like I said. It's many other industries that are suffering, and you're going to see a lot of people go down to essentials. They're going to be trying to conserve their money, and you're going to even see stuff like the dollar falling at times. Like, it's not all going to go just back up in one shot. That being said, please subscribe if you haven't already. I could use it if you want to turn that bell on and notifications, especially during the times that are moving forward. I may focus on past format content. I may start to like really look towards evergreen content, as they call it, things that you could watch at any point in time, but I would still appreciate it if you guys, if we start to do tabletop. I had planned a live stream with 24 different decks for 24 hours, and I think it'd be really cool to start going into the history of Troop Dupe, the history of Chaos format, and maybe do something like a deck profile, a duel with Billy Break, and then also a breakdown of the format. So like an introduction to, and then the deck profile after the duel. We'll figure it out along the way, but it's something I've been having in the works for a while, and you may see content even on this channel kind of try to focus towards different parts. I do hope that you support me through that as well. Even don't give if you cannot. Don't feel little heartstring tugs. Take care of yourself first. Always. Thanks for watching, everybody.